Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan Fox. Thanks so much for clicking on my video. Today I'd like to show you around my living room. I've just recently decorated it for Christmas, and not just Christmas but winter in general. I wish I could have you all over for Santa Arts and some good conversation, but since that can't happen, I figured I would just make this video and show you what I've done to make our holiday a little more festive. It's not about your house being the best or the most elaborate holiday home or showpiece. I definitely do not have a mansion on a hill or anything. We live in a small rancher in Lancaster County, but I like to do the best I can with what I have. And I think you'll notice as I take you around that not a lot has changed. I just took things that I had from my fall decor and I just transitioned it into my winter decor. I don't decorate specifically for Christmas necessarily. I do have a manger scene and some things like that, but I actually keep my Christmas decor up all through winter, the whole way through February. So it takes a lot of money if you want to be switching out all the time, so I try not to do it too often, but I do enjoy it, and every year I tweak things a little bit. So let me show you around. It won't take long. My house is not that big. And also stay tuned because I will show you how I did a little bit of a DIY in case any of you would like to try it yourself. I do concentrate most of my decorations in the living room because that's just where the family is most of the time, and I feel like it's where we get to enjoy it the most. I do have some other things scattered throughout my home, but I don't put the pressure on myself to decorate every single room. So without any further ado, let's get going. Here's a quick scan of my autumn decor. It's simple and neutral, and that's not about to change with my winter decor. What would you guys label your design style? I guess I'm kind of a hybrid of sorts, but I definitely like to keep it natural and neutral. Just keep watching to see how I repurpose this embroidery hoop. And this wooden tureen isn't going anywhere. I'll just swap out the content. And my handy husband made this custom frame for me, and it'll stay as well with just a slight transition. So let's start out with my shelves I have over here behind the sofa. I always wanted a house with a mantle, and unfortunately we do not have a fireplace here. So I got my husband to make these gorgeous shelves. I love them so much. They kind of have like a farmhouse feel to them. And my favorite thing about them is that I don't walk into other people's homes and see the exact same thing. Basically on this shelf over here you can see I took my wooden tureen and I took away the gourds and just filled it with pine cones instead and some twinkly fairy lights. And just added some candles and trees. I would have trees all over the place if I could. I just really love greenery and just that whimsical look that trees can give. The mirror was a wedding present from 5 years ago, and that just pretty much stays there all the time. I try to clean it and it just is always foggy, so I'm not sure what the problem is with it, but I still like it and I think it adds some charm and it kind of feels old and vintage that way. My upper shelf up here says Noel. I have just a bunch of different letters that I got from AC Moore, and I think I've even picked a few up at Hobby Lobby maybe. And a wreath that I got at Calico Creek, and so it spells out the word Noel in kind of scrapbooky looking letters, and I like how that looks. And I just made myself a little DIY wreath. It wasn't hard at all, just all you need is some floor wire and greens and a few accents and you're good to go. As you can see, very neutral, blends in. It doesn't scream Christmas, but at the same time it feels very wintry and kind of natural. So over here at my piano, probably the first thing you noticed is the giant picture frame up here. My husband made this for me. Yes, Josh, I love you. Thank you so much for letting me rope you into all this stuff. So basically the frame stayed for fall as well. I just put a new piece of artwork in the frame. And the pom-poms I just made myself and kind of draped them asymmetrically across the top to just make it feel a little more wintry and cozy. If you want to know how to make the pom-poms, you can go ahead and watch this next clip. And if you really don't care, just skip ahead. I will have a timestamp here so you know where to jump ahead to if you don't want to try this DIY. Okay, I've already made a whole bunch of pom-poms, so I definitely have had a lot of practice. Basically, it's really easy actually after you get started. What you want is to get the yarn that you like. I just wanted simple earth tones to go with my living room. So these are the colors I picked. And then you have a scissors and you need 2 toilet paper tubes. I did try this method here. If you see anything like this online, go for it if you want to, but it did not work for me. It was very, very tedious when you tried to take it off. And I know you can buy pom-pom makers, but whatever, I'm all about free and cheap. So yeah, toilet paper tubes will get the job done. Basically, you want to wrap around here like many, many, many times. And I have learned a way to make it faster. Basically, you want the yarn to go around here 150 times to make a pom-pom that's about this fullness. Oh, it's so cute. So basically, instead of wrapping 150 times around, that takes a long time, you can like double up the yarn and then wrap half that many times if it's doubled up. So to double it up, I just usually pull a whole bunch of arm lengths down through like this. And yeah, you'll just take a little bit of practice to figure out how much. So I'll just stop here and now I'll start going back through. See, I doubled it up and now I'm going back through. Again, you don't have to do it like this. This is just for me to save time. You could just start with an end of the yarn and wrap 150 times. And you'll just keep pulling until you come to the end of this yarn. So here you can see I ran out of yarn. Do not cut it off because I don't actually know that that's gonna be enough to wrap it around enough times. So I'm just gonna go back through now. Trust me, this is not that complicated. I'm gonna find the other end that's doubled up. And I'm gonna start with that end. Basically, I'm gonna take my toilet paper tubes here, pinch the loop, the doubled up yarn in the middle. This does not have to be that scientific-y. And now you can, if you're just doing a single strand of yarn, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously. But I have a double strand here, so I'm just going to count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And I'm just gonna keep right on going, and you can double it up on top, it doesn't matter, you don't have to spread it all out. You kind of want it all in a clump until you have 150 strands going around. So I'm at 20, I'm gonna keep going till I get to 150. So cue the time lapse. Okay, so that is 150 times wrapped around. And now I'm just going to cut it off and I'll lay it there and cut off another piece of string. Doesn't matter how long, about a foot. And I'm gonna pull that in between the cracks of the 2 toilet paper tubes. I don't know if you can see that there. And I'm just gonna pull that in and turn it around. And I'm gonna knot it very, very loosely, not even knot it, just do the first step of a tie. So, like that. Just so I can hold it together. Okay, hold it here so it doesn't slip. I'm just gonna pull the toilet paper tubes off. Okay, after they're off, you'll have basically this big ball of yarn that's doubled over, and you'll have a string to tie down the middle of the blob. So if you can see that there, I'm just gonna pull it extra tight now. And then you can hold it kind of still like you're wrapping a bow around a gift. Hey, good practice for Christmas time, right? Gift wrapping 101. And I'm gonna knot it again and a third time for good measure, and make sure that's as tight as possible when you do that. It takes a little practice, but eventually you'll get it. Now, all these little loops, I'm just going to slice them with a scissors all the way across. This is really fast and easy. And if you miss any, you can always come back later and find them and fix them. Actually, okay, so there we go. Looks like a truffle tree kind of, but it's very, very yarny yet. It still looks very crafty if you ask me. So how do we get from this kind of mop looking pom-pom to a nice round fluffy one? Basically, it's gonna just take some trimming. So I just like to flatten my pom-pom out like that, like a jellyfish kind of, and then just hold it and go around and trim everything shorter. I would recommend just not cutting off too much at a time in case you go, you know, you can always go shorter, not longer. Okay, definitely a fabric scissors is a must. I got sick of that real fast. Basically, I flattened the pom-pom from, like, if this was a globe, I flattened it down from east to west. And now, after I have it trimmed the way I think it looks nice and circular, I'm gonna flatten it out from, like, I'm gonna turn it sideways and flatten it from kind of like north to south. Now you can see, I'm ready to cut again to make them all the same length. Wow, the scissors is a dream. So just hold it wherever and fluff it out. Okay, look around. See, I have some stragglers. And anything that's longer than the rest, just snip it off. If you kind of have a flat top or bottom, like I see I have pretty many long pieces hanging down here, just trim them off. And there you go, I have another pom-pom. Also, I have some balsa trees that I made, very clean and kind of Scandinavian looking. My husband was like, why didn't you just buy others? But I was like, hey, I wanted to try it. They do look a little crafty, but it was fun. And we'll see if they stick around for next year or not. I got a manger scene here that my mom got me for Christmas. She actually got it from Christian book distributors. And I really like that it's neutral. It kind of has that whole willow tree figurine feel, but kind of without that pricey price tag. And yeah, it is tin. This part is tin and the rest here is resin, so it probably will never break. And then I just scattered some greens around and some votive candles. And here's a centerpiece on my kitchen table. I just took away the pumpkins and put pine cones there instead. And I also wanted to show you guys this giant frame my husband built for me. It has some molding on that I just got at Lowe's, and we glued that on, painted everything. This will be eventually completely filled and overflowing with Christmas cards. Also, I just wanted to quickly show you my rose gold reindeer over here in the basement. I have it on a swinging shelf that I got from IKEA. Confession, it's actually up most of the year, but I did buy it originally as a Christmas decoration and just decided it fit in here pretty well. This was actually just an art project we did with my homeschool co-op, and I needed an example, so I made this one for myself. And this is how my front door is looking. I get a green wreath every year from a lady at my church. Shout out to Lena, and I think Kate put this one together for me. It looks so good. I love all the neutrals with our bluish door and our greenish gray siding. Yeah, I just look forward to this part every year. And someday I'm gonna live in the woods where I have all the greens I can get my hands on, and I can have a wreath on every door in my house. Hey, so that's it guys. Pretty much that's all I've done this year. This is only November, so I'll probably be adding a few things here throughout the year yet just to complete it. But for now, this is what I've got done, and I thought it would be great fun to show you around. Hopefully this video didn't make you feel like you needed to run out to the store and buy anything new, but maybe just take what you do have and tweak it a little bit and make it more festive. After all, it's not about competing with our friends or our neighbors. It's just about making your home feel inviting for you, because who lives there the most? You guys do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It helps me so much. That way I know which videos you like and how to gauge my content. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. It's totally free. And then a little bell will pop up, and you want to hit the little bell. That way it notifies you at the top of your phone every time I post a new video, which is every Thursday. So I look forward to seeing you guys on my next video. I love and appreciate you all.